If I start by answering the latter part of that question first, what's my investment style? What's my investment philosophy? I think in its simplest sense, I am a fundamentals focused, high conviction, bottom up stock picker. What does that mean in practice? It means, rather than investing in a broad brush approach across different sectors, I'm looking for the best businesses within a sector that have high quality fundamentals that can ultimately outperform. What type of businesses do I like? Well, from a kind of financial quality kind of criteria perspective, I like businesses with earnings growth momentum, with high margins, so that's the profitability of the businesses. I like businesses that can generate cash and those with strong balance sheets. And look, the financial characteristics are clearly important, but beyond that, I really want to be backing high quality management teams. What does that mean in practice? It means those that have a track record of execution and of creating value for shareholders. I like it where teams can be kind of masters of their own destiny with kind of self-help levers at their disposal to drive growth within the business or to kind of manage the cost base effectively. I like businesses on the whole that are also aligned to longer term structural growth themes so that they can exhibit resilience through periods of broader kind of market headwinds or kind of macro instability. And I think what's really positive is, look, I spoke to Indri a lot through the process and we've spent a lot of time together since joining, and we are very much aligned in our investment style and our investment philosophy. And since joining, where I've had the opportunity to really kind of understand the different businesses that sit within the portfolio, the really positive thing is the fact that so many of the businesses fit that criteria and fit within the categories of businesses that I like to invest in. And there's no doubt about it that there's a huge amount of quality that sits in the names that we already hold. And look, since joining, we have, as a team, have really come together to kick the tires on every single holding that sits within the portfolio. We've reappraised our level of conviction, and there's been a lot of healthy debate and discussion across all of the names. And what that's meant in practice is, for some of the names where we're very high conviction, we've bought more, we've invested more behind that kind of strong conviction in the names. At the flip side of that, where there are names that were lower conviction or where there'd been, a derailment of the thesis to some extent, we've taken the opportunity to exit from those lower conviction names. We as a team are laser focused on the fact that every single name within this portfolio has to fight for its right to be there. We don't want any passengers, we don't want any legacy positions. And look, a lot of the heavy lifting has now been done, but of course it's an ongoing process as we manage the portfolio. But as we sit here today and I look at the kind of construction of the portfolio, I'm really excited about kind of what we can do here. And I think we are really, really clear about what the drivers of performance are going to be over the short term, but more importantly, over the medium to long term. My entire career has focused on UK small caps. I started out on the advisory side, so I was a corporate broker to UK small and mid-cap businesses, which meant kind of advising management teams on strategy, on market narrative, as well as working on various transactions, so things like equity raises alongside kind of lots of M&A transactions. I then leapt across to the buy side around 5 years ago, so working for a specialist asset manager within the UK public equities team. And look, we were the only equities team within the firm, and all we did was UK small cap, and I co-managed the UK smaller companies fund there. So you could probably say UK small cap's my bread and butter. Some could say, is it not boring only focusing on this very small niche of the market? But I think there's a reason why I've stuck to this part of the market. It's really, really exciting. I think the very fact that so many of these businesses are under-researched and not very well known in itself provides an exciting opportunity for those who are willing to go away and do the work and really find these gems that are sitting within the UK economy that are growing well and that you can buy in at very attractive prices. I do think there is kind of an important nuance though between kind of the fact that I like UK small and mid caps rather than kind of earlier stage businesses. So I like to invest in growth businesses, but not necessarily kind of breakneck speed growth at the cost of profitability. And I think there's the unique point that UK small caps have reached a level of maturity where they're still able to grow, but they're able to make money and they're able to generate cash, which helps to de-risk the investments from some perspective.